Upgrades.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my official review for Twisted Metal Season 1 that is on Peacock Original. Now, I honestly can't lie to you guys. When the first trailer dropped and the first concept art dropped, I was like, this seems corny. This doesn't seem like it's going to work. This doesn't seem like my conceptual thought of what Twisted Metal was. Now, a lot of people remember like the household name Sweet Tooth. And Sweet Tooth in and of himself is a creepy freaking character, right? But then you got the John Does, and you got like the Cards, you got like Roadkill, you got all these different iconic characters. If you know the game, you remember them, but then it was kind of like it just didn't seem like it was going to work. But having started it, I think initially I heard rumblings when I was at San Diego Comic-Con. People were kind of like, oh yeah, I actually really enjoyed the first 2 episodes, the first episode. And I was like, huh? So then I was kind of like, all right, let me go and check it out myself. As soon as I got back from Comic-Con, I immediately started watching it secretly. And I was like, I got through the first 4 episodes back to back to back. It's only like 30-minute episodes. And I kid you not, I actually really love it. I actually freaking really love it. I am so surprised that they found a way by the beginning of this to the end of this to make this reminiscent of what I can remember of Twisted Metal. And the crazy thing is, like, I remember like when Twisted Metal Black came out, like that was crazy, but it's just with this, it shouldn't work on paper, but some kind of a way they found ways of fusing in all the different characters that you pretty much would know, whether it is Stone, whether it is Quiet, whether it is John Doe playing by Anthony Mackie. There are so many notable characters that you're like, there's no way they can make this work, and they do. I give credit to Anthony Mackie because some kind of a way he's able to pull out a very interesting character. And I think it's because he started off so just laid back crazy. It's like he's not overacting, he's just mellow, chill. Like the world around him, people are dying around him, like he's driving in the midst of chaos, people are getting decapitated, bodies all over his place, like flames, blood. And he's just like, oh, this is a normal day. I'm living through my suffering. It is what it is. I love life. I love being a milkman. Now, milkman is what John is. And what John does, he makes deliveries going back and forth between different people that require him to make deliveries, right? And so on the road, you've got different people that are just insane. And they got their own factions, which is like, case in point, somebody like Sweet Tooth. Now, Sweet Tooth is being voiced by Will Arnett. Will Arnett is an amazing actor, but he's very comedic timing is very impressive. And, I think that they're getting Samo Joe that's playing the actual body of Sweet Tooth, but Will Arnett is doing the voice of it. And I think he's doing a really freaking great job because he is not just crazy, he is deadly, he is psychopathic. And he's got these traits about him that remind me of what Sweet Tooth I remember. Now, the show is really straightforward. Like, you got a guy that, is on the road trying to do delivery, and then he thinks about another life. And then somebody proposes him, like, do one more delivery. And, it's the catch-22. We always know what that's going to go. But then along the way, he meets people like Sweet Tooth. He meets people like Stephanie, Beatrice's character, Quiet, and he starts to really coming to his own, because now he's I don't want to spoil too much. He's going out further than he's ever been before, and he's dealing with certain factions that he's only heard rumblings of, and whether they are the holy men or whether they are the lawmen, whether they are, just crazy, perverted, messed up people. He's intersecting with all of them, and I think the thing that I like about this show is that they don't hold any punches at all. Like, it is insane. There are so many different epic callbacks as well to certain nudges, whether it's like a certain suggestion, a certain car name, a certain faction of people that you kind of get. But I think even if you had no nudge of who these characters are, I think that you would still be enticed to continue to watch, because as the show is going on, you start to notice that these factions become bridges to who John could be, or who he's going to interact with, and who he's going to interface with. Much like, this character right here is the lawman, and Thomas Haden Church is an amazing actor, but Agent Stone is a sicko, and he relishes it. Like, he really puts himself all the way out there, and he loves it. He does a great job with it. There's also a kind of a bit of it's not necessarily, it's a progressive partnership that kind of happens with the characters Quiet and John Doe that I really do appreciate. I kind of started to kind of get behind that idea of what that looks like, for being on the road with psychopaths that are willing to kill, shoot, murder, maim, or God knows what at any given moment. How do you have a developed actual relationship, and what kind of traumas have put you to this point? Every single individual character also gets, from these 10 episodes, their own backstory, their own progression, their own evolution to the characters that we know them to be. So there's definitely going to be some deaths, but there's also going to be some amazing callbacks that I think you guys are going to really like. If you were on the fence about the show, I'll put it like this. I'll make it very plain. If you were on the fence about checking out Twisted Metal, know that it's much better than what the trailers showed. It is gruesome. It is insane. The practical effects of it are, I understand now why the creators of Deadpool were involved in this, because a lot of the practical VFX and the stunt work, and even like the vehicular manslaughter that's going on, is dope. And when you get, like, I think the first episode showcases it very well, the capabilities of what they're able to do with cars. And I think that when you're in a world like with like the Fast and Furious has gone so far outside the scope of what we remember for that now, and you're kind of like, I miss just a good race or good back and forth like with cars. This show will give it to you. There's also melodrama here or there. There are spikes and times where you're just kind of like, well, you got this love triangle here, or you got this one extra notch on the board to add like another layer to another character. And sometimes that can be a little exhausting. I think there were certain moments where I felt like they could have kept this a little tighter with certain characters. Maybe cutting it down to like maybe 8 episodes, maybe 7 or 8. But I would still go and watch it all over again, because I actually was invested in how the story was going, because every single individual character that shows up was actually important, down to like 2 random characters named Stu and Michael that shouldn't have any relevance. And I don't think I remember them being key pivotal characters from the games, but they found a way of making them important to show the psychology of these certain individuals. And the other thing, again, like, I brought her name up, but Stephanie Beatriz does an amazing job in this, because the thing about her character, a lot of the times, like, she's a wild card. You don't really know if you should get invested in her character, but I think that a majority of the time you are, because of how she clashes with everyone, including herself, psychologically or emotionally. And then also the comedic timing between her and Anthony Mackie as John Doe, I think is actually really good, because I thought it just wouldn't work, and sometimes it kind of feels like it's a little overdrawn. But I think that the fact is that they're both good actors, and everybody in here for the most part are good actors. And so I think that they make it work because they are just, they go into it. They're like, I know what this is. I know what I'm playing. And I think they play it pretty well. This is easily like a B for me, B or B plus. I really actually enjoyed Twisted Metal. I cannot believe this year that I've gotten another video game show that I actually liked. It's so weird. Like, what world are we in now? Go and check out Twisted Metal if you're on the fence about it. Do know that it is very rated R. There's sex, there's violence, there's gore, there's bombings, there's terrorism. There's a lot of gruesome, messed up stuff, and language. Oh gosh, a lot of language. But the comedic timing is on there. It's good actors doing very silly, foolish stuff. Great stunt work and VFX is slim to none. They use it very sparingly. But it's a great callback to the characters that you know from the game. And I think that if nothing else, you're going to have a good time watching it. So go and check out Twisted Metal. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm curious your thoughts on this crazy series. And hopefully, I'm asking for it. Give us a season 2. Later, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
Falling out the top of
I can see the skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on